Minutes if you want to join our session.
I don't think you're supposed to use it that way.
I think we may start.
Yeah, we do.
Should we start?
Yeah, you're nice, please.
1 past 9. Yeah.
Johanna, is the timer going to be? Where is the timer going to be? Up there. Next to our
Okay, good morning, everyone, and warm welcome to this fireside chat on restoring the future, youth ecopreneurs and their land restoration business journeys. This side event is co-hosted by the International Trade Center and the NCCD's G20 Global Land Initiative here at the Restoration Pavilion. Also, for those joining us online, warm welcome and thank you for tuning in wherever you're based in the world. My name is Lorenza Contin and I am a research associate at the G20 Global Land Initiative, and I will co-moderate this event together with Johanna Deis, consultant at the International Trade Center. Now, why is this topic, youth ecopreneurs and their land restoration business journeys, so important? As we look to the future, two things become increasingly clear. The pivotal role of land in combating the triple planetary crisis, and the pivotal role of youth as drivers of innovation. Youth ecopreneurs are proving that environmental restoration and entrepreneurship are not just compatible. Together, they're transformative. These young change makers are demonstrating that land is a land of opportunities. Restoring land is not only critical for the environment, but can also be the foundation for thriving businesses. In short, you can help the environment and take care of our land, while at the same time making money and earning a living out of it. And this is where the importance of our Youth Ecopreneur program, also known as the ECO program, arises. Jointly implemented by the International Trade Center and the G20 Global Land Initiative, the ECO program supports and nurtures the next generation of green entrepreneurs, with a special focus on land restoration. ECO provides access to essential resources, masterclasses, coaching, mentorship, seed capital, and networking opportunities. Participants embark on a transformative journey, starting with a global bootcamp, advancing through a global accelerator, and culminating in the celebrated Youth Ecopreneur Awards. This year, ECO attracted over 850 applicants from more than 100 countries, and 125 exceptional young entrepreneurs were selected to participate in this year's Global Bootcamp. Today, we have the great pleasure of having here with us on the stage 5 outstanding participants from the 2024 ECO Accelerator stage. They are living proof that the land can truly be a land of opportunities, because land restoration and conservation can be profitable business opportunities. To draw you into their journey, in this session, we will first invite them to share their business stories, and then we will place them in the hot seat to answer rapid-fire questions about their experience in land restoration and about sustainable business practices. So let's hear from our guests today. Johanna and I will ask each of them a question to uncover their motivations, their inspirations, and their journeys in land restoration. So I'd like to start with Andressa, who is the founder and CEO of SOS Carbon, the company, which already operates in the USA, in the Dominican Republic, and in other countries, addresses unsustainable agricultural practices from synthetic fertilizer and other challenges caused by invasive seaweed. So I would like to ask you, Andressa, can you share a moment when you realized the impact of your work on the community and on the environment?
Thank you, Lorenza, and pleasure being here with you all this morning. Thank you to the G20 and all the different host organizations, ITC, YECO program. It has been very inspiring to also work with fellow ecopreneurs. With that said, and moving to the question, the local communities for us have been a key pillar since day one. We well understood that to work in emerging markets, we needed to involve them, to also consider the infrastructure that we locally have so that we build a sustainable business model, that we build a sustainable operation. With that said, when we talk about communities, there are two main angles, as Lorenza introduced about our work at SOS. We first work with farmers, and we also work with the coastal communities. On the farmer side, it has been very rewarding to see how, through the use of our product, Marine Symbiotic, a seaweed-based biostimulant, organic certified, they have been able to increase yields. Yields increase up to 43%. And I will get to that in a second. What do I mean about the use of our product? But staying on the community angle for a bit, we also work with the local fishing communities to harvest the seaweed before it is a problem, an environmental problem, an economic problem, and a human health problem. Why? Because this invasive seaweed that we work with, when it makes landfall, it rots and emits back carbon and methane. And also it kills all the ecosystem when it takes out the oxygen and sunlight. So going to our products, we not only have Marine Symbiotic, a biostimulant, but we also have one for the floral and a substrate for hydroponics. In terms of Marine Symbiotic, apart from the yield increases that I mentioned, we have also been able to see benefits with pests. So when it is applied, it also acts as a pesticide in a way, organic pesticide. And we have been able as well to increase the protein level and Brix degree level, meaning improving the content of the fruit that we get at the end of the day. This is a seaweed problem I was highlighting. It's a major problem, not only in the Caribbean, but also globally. We have been seeing it in Europe already, Portugal, Spain, and other locations. So when I talk about community impact, again, and the technologies that we have employed, we have really thought of ways to leverage the local infrastructure. So at MIT, we developed a patented system where we retrofit local boats without the need of modifying them. It's like a horse saddle, meaning we take this equipment that is adjustable to the different characteristics of the artisanal of the local boats, and they are ready to go in 15 minutes, ready to start harvesting invasive seaweed. And each boat has a capacity of 10 tons per hour, giving us really scalability. And we have already deployed this system in 4 countries: Dominican Republic, Antigua and Barbuda, Puerto Rico, and Mexico. So really looking forward to keep expanding our operations. I will leave it here to hear from the fellow ecopreneurs. And yeah, looking forward to connect and keep going with the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Andres. Your business story is really inspiring, especially how you incorporate communities and leverage on new technology. It's really interesting. So now let's turn to you, Marianne. You are the co-founder and CEO of Agritech Analytics Limited, a Kenyan company. And your work focuses on advancing AI technology to support sustainable farming. So we would like to know who or what was your biggest influence in starting this journey?
Thank you. Thank you for your question. I hope you can all hear me. My name is Marianne. My name is Marianne Gishanga from Kenya. I run a company called Agritech Analytics. We use AI-powered satellite imagery data and IoT sensors to halt and reverse soil degradation, pests and diseases. Our main aim is to end hunger and also to restore land. So, onto your question, what inspired me to start this? First, I am a farmer's daughter, so I know firsthand the challenges that the farmers face, and I did not want any child to suffer or to have a hard time in school like I did. So because of that, I started this company. But before we got to Agritech Analytics, when I was in in university, I started a company that had a dashboard where I could connect farmers with input with aggregators, and the aggregators would know where they will buy, where they will get specific output, and then they would negotiate a price before the produce was fully mature. But then I realized that the farmers had deeper issues than just having market for their goods, and that is when we started looking at what exactly was the challenge that these farmers were going through. It was not about inputs or outputs, because we would also connect them to seeds, to people who would sell them seeds, but it was always about the crops were failing. And so we started looking for a solution for what exactly was going on with them, and we realized that the soil was an issue, the fertilizers they were using were an issue, because they were just looking at what is my neighbor doing, and they would replicate the same, not understanding that you would be neighbors, but the soil topography would be different. So we started slowly working with IoT sensors to help these farmers with soil testing. But we further realized that the IoT sensors had a margin of error, and this margin of error would definitely affect their yields. And then that is when we now wanted to bridge this gap by using satellites, and the satellite comes with 10 years prior farm data, and it's also having a predictive side of it. So the farmer would understand how the farm was performing, know how the farm is performing at this present age, and then have an idea of what will happen in the next 14 to 21 days so that they're able to plan better. And it has been a beautiful journey because we have experienced impact. The farmers have reported an increase in yields. For using our solution in 3 to 6 months, they get up to 57% increase, and over a year they can have a 75% increase. They are able to reduce on their farm input costs because we have targeted solutions for the issues that these farmers are facing. So the farmer doesn't need to continuously water their farm, for example. They know the moisture levels of their soil, and they're able to plan better. Women have also not been left behind. They have a financial edge now because they can use our accurate yield prediction for loans. And we have the beautiful story of restoring over 120 hectares of land from soil degradation. We look forward to scaling. The future is beautiful. We aim to reclaim over 1.5 million hectares of land by 2030, and also on board 780,000 farmers to use our solution monthly. With the support we have from local and international organizations like G20 and ITC, we are sure to getting there. And we look forward to transforming more faces to smiley faces. And I'm so happy to be here to share the African story with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marianne, for sharing your journey with us. It was really impressive to see how you started and what you achieved. Really, congrats. I'd now like to give the floor to Christian, who is the founder of Bioplanet TMC, a company that provides high-quality granulated organic fertilizer to farmers in Pobe, Benin. And Christian, I would like to ask you, what problem were you determined to solve when you started your business?
Next question. Next question. Thank you so much. Good morning, Your Excellencies, honored delegates. Thank you so much for having me today. You know, today there is no a better way to address farmland restoration than promoting sustainable agricultural practices. Most importantly, applying eco-friendly quality agricultural inputs. Having spent more than 10 years in agricultural sector in Benin Republic, first being pharmason, student in agricultural sciences, and today as young entrepreneur, I have seen firsthand the daily struggles of local communities having agriculture as their primary source of income. Then, then we have seen firsthand the daily challenge of agricultural communities having this as primary source of income. Globally, it is about 10 billion hectares of degraded land, affecting negatively over 3 billion people. In West Africa, when we talk about land degradation, it is more than an urgent issue because it affects over 6 million hectares of land. And my country of origin, Benin Republic, is one of these African countries facing significant impact of land degradation with over 2 million hectares of land degraded. But you know the reality, we are a generation that sees opportunity in every single challenge our communities are facing. And living this journey on a daily basis, I came to meet Monica in 2022. She is a young widowed woman in Pobe, Benin Republic, having agriculture as her primary source of income. Her yields drop every year due to unsustainable farming practices leading to land degradation. But in search of quality organic fertilizer to restore her farmland, you know the sad reality? She made a lot of research, went to the store, but it cost too much and is of poor quality. BioPlanet TMC is more than pleased to come up with an innovative aspect of organic fertilizer to address farmland restoration across Benin Republic, West Africa, for soil biodiversity conservation and enrichment. Being in granules, our product helps farmers avoid losses during application. This product also increases water retention capacity for soil, maximizing profit for crops. It is also odor-free, safe for users, and also environment. So far, we have been able to offer over 34 tons of organic fertilizer in Pobe, Benin Republic, reaching over 200 women and indigenous small-scale farmers having agriculture as their primary source of income, while creating over 40 green job opportunity for youth, 60% being for women. And this impact haven't been possible thanks to the collaboration of co-founders and G20 Global Initiative that is working hand in hand with us with ITC support. Our objective for the next 5 years is to be able to offer over 34,000 tons of organic fertilizer, restore over 40,000 hectares of farmland. And we hope that by collaborating with other peers and stakeholders, we can be able to reach kind of goals. And we are here today sharing our story, but we hope that by collaborating with you, we can do more. If you are interested in collaborating with young dedicated entrepreneurs, you can reach out to us, and the future is so bright for us. Let us join hands to elevate the voice of women and indigenous small-scale farmers in agriculture across West Africa. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian. It's really amazing. Thank you for your insights in your work and what your impact and your growth plans. Really inspiring. So now coming to you, Martina. Martina, you are the CEO of Chemolex Company, also a Kenyan company, and you are in the field of developing an alternative plastic material, which is also biodegradable, which is amazing. So we would love to hear from you. What has been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
Thank you very much for that question. So, the most rewarding part of my journey as an entrepreneur has been the kind of impact that I've been able to create in the lives of women like Emily. That's Emily on that side. Emily was born and bred along the shores of Lake Victoria. She sells fish for a living, but she's facing a lot of challenges because of the water hyacinth plant, which forms an impenetrable mat on top of the Lake Victoria and hinders fishing activities. It also exposes her and her family to a lot of waterborne diseases. For the normal Kenyan who lives in an informal settlement in along the slum areas near water body, these are the kind of conditions that they have. Plastic pollution along the rivers. Most of this plastic, which is like over 50%, comes from low density polyethylene, which is LDPE, mostly from single-use plastic, which is used for food and product packaging. That's why we developed the biopactic material alternative, which is developed from the water hyacinth plant, used for food and product packaging, and also biodegradable diapers and sanitary products. This biopactic material alternative is reusable, recyclable, and 100% biodegradable. It also produces 25% cheaper diapers and sanitary products. And because of this, we've been able to eliminate pollution by 3 million tons annually. So far, we have been partnering with the African cotton industry and Chandarana Food Plus as we expand our operations. We are looking, the future is bright for us because we are looking to expand into other retailers like Nestle, Unilever, and P&G. And also, we would like to explore the use of the biopactic material alternative in the biotech industry, mostly in medicine. Thank you very much, and I would like to urge all of you to join us in making Emily's smile bigger. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martina, for sharing your impressive innovation, your achievements, and your journey with us. It was really amazing. And last but not least, I would like to turn to Fernando from Brazil. Fernando, it's been a few years since you co-founded Ceres Seeding. Ceres Seeding leverages drone technology to automate and enhance ecological restoration. So I would like to ask you, what inspired you to focus specifically on land restoration as your mission?
Well, thank you so much for the question. Yeah, actually, I brought the reason why I started to work with land restoration. Since 2018, I've been developing several different social projects, and in 2020, I went to Serra dos Toledos, which is a farmers community, small farmers community in the city where I studied in Itajubá, Brazil. And there I met Ms. Lila. Ms. Lila at the time were telling us about the problems that they were facing, and at the time, the worst problem they were going through were caused by illegal wildfires that were spreading quickly to their farms because of the huge number of degraded areas we had over there. And she told me an environmental specialist suggested the farmers to implement a land restoration project around the area to help her to protect their animals, their crops, and natural resources. But she lives in a mountains area, so it's really expensive and really hard to implement land and ecological restoration projects over there. Unfortunately, the city hall didn't have the infrastructure and the farmers didn't have the money, so no project was done there at the time. And after that visit, it really got me thinking on how land degradation was affecting people's life. So it was more of a social-driven vision than environmental driven vision. And after that, me and other two colleagues from my university started to research more about the current solutions we had to implement ecological restoration projects. And we identified some bottlenecks that were obstacles to scaling up land restoration projects and helping other small farmers in those type of regions. So we started then researching about possible solutions. Those two colleagues of mine, they have been developing autonomous drones since 2016 and 2017. So they have a huge experience with that. And that was when we decided to use our knowledge and our expertise to help scaling up ecological and land restoration projects back in Brazil. So we started as a university project, actually. We had our own jobs, our own careers. It wasn't an entrepreneur since the beginning. But we started to get some attention from some big companies in Brazil. And we were in a situation that we needed to open a startup. So that was our story. And we opened City Seeding. So today we use autonomous drones in several land restoration processes. We work by mapping degraded areas, preparing degraded areas as well, planting native seeds, and maintaining and monitoring ongoing projects with our drones. And we started to developing some different partnerships to test our technologies in different land restoration scenarios in different regions in Brazil. And one really important thing that we noticed throughout our journey is that you can have social impact without environmental impact, and you can have environmental impact if you don't consider it the biodiversity. So that's something really important for us. We started to research more and more about the different native species we had and the role of each native species in each of our ecosystems. And we started developing technology driven by biodiversity. So today our solutions are suitable for us to work with different native seeds in different ecosystems. And it's all started from that visit from Ms. Lila. Today, we are scaling up our current operations in Brazil, and we're developing new technologies, optimizing some of our systems to be more precise on carbon capturing monitoring as well, and to be more optimized on the field, spending less time and less products as well. So that's our story. That's why we started. It was because of social impact, and today I feel that I can guarantee that if you want to have a quick impact in a lot of different communities, you should focus on environment and biodiversity. So yeah, this is our context. If anyone has any question, feel free to reach out after this, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Fernando, for sharing your incredible business journey and the innovative ways you're addressing land degradation. I think I'm speaking for all of us sitting here. It's really inspiring and amazing to see how the work of all of you is creating and lasting impact from both the environment and the communities. So thanks for that. So we are moving now to a next segment of the session, the hot seat segment. So this is a more fun and engaging part. With 30 seconds, we are going to ask you questions, rapid fire questions. The goal is to be quick and authentic and to give us a little bit of quick insights in your daily lives as an entrepreneurs. Remember, you only have 30 seconds to answer, and let's get started. So, Andres, first to you. Running a business is never without challenges. So, what is one skill you relied on most when overcoming an obstacle?
The one word I will use is resilience. Being resilient to challenges, to step back, to understand them, understand how to maybe approach those challenges, right, in a innovative, different way. Also, again, as we have been sharing, how to approach them in a teamwork manner, and also in a way that we don't forget the communities and the environment.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, let's turn to Martina. So, Martina, what was your toughest day like as an ecopreneur?
My toughest day as an ecopreneur was when I was contemplating, do I really need to do this? Because I deal with a lot of people, and I also deal with the environment, and I do a lot of R&D as well. So it gets exhausting, but we show up. It doesn't have to be 100%. Some days 20% is all you got, but if you give it your all, you're good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, coming to you, Christian, we would like to know from you, what is the best piece of advice you have received about running a business?
Thank you so much for this great question. The best piece of advice was adaptability, because at the beginning of my journey, I was facing a lot of challenge in collaborating with my co-founders, because we did not have same background at the beginning of the journey. But I got this piece of advice from a coach entrepreneur who said me that adaptability is really crucial if we want to go far in business. Then I start working on that. And with Youth Ecopreneur program, I come to gain this case. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Christian. Let's turn to Marianne. Marianne, how do you balance profit and purpose in your work?
Well, I do not have the balance yet, but I believe that as long as you're solving a pressing issue, then it is never about profit. The profit comes when you have a problem that you're solving, and the people who are facing that problem have identified it and accepted it's a problem and are looking for solutions that you are offering. Then you don't have to think about profit. It comes, it just brings itself.
Thank you so much. Fernando, we are curious. What's one habit that has helped you to stay committed to your mission?
Yeah, so for sure is prospecting possible partnerships. I mean, we got out of the university and started our business, so we didn't have a lot of resources, but developing partnerships were definitely the key for success. So to constant being prospecting possible organizations that you can collaborate with, it's for sure one of the best ones. Time efficient.
Okay, back to Andres. So, Andres, what's one way other entrepreneurs can support you in your mission?
Perfect tag along from Fernando's response, right? Indeed, I would say partnerships and collaboration. We are also a spin out from a university at MIT, and we put a lot of attention in working with the local academia, international as well. We have, for example, an industrial PhD program with the University of Valencia. So those collaborations are really meaningful, and we look forward to them.
Thank you. Perfect on timing. Martina, what stands out as the most fulfilling or rewarding part of your entrepreneurial journey so far?
The most fulfilling and rewarding part of my entrepreneurial journey so far is the kind and amount of lives that I've been able to touch with everything that I do, the kind of impact that I've made to the youth and to the women. And of course, I feel like I'm making a difference in the world in terms of climate change, environmental impact, and also gender equality. Thank you.
Perfect timing as well. Great. Okay, so Christian, what's one resource or tool that has been a game changer for you?
Transformational leadership resources. Transformational leadership resources was the great one for me that helped me build a strong team working on these environmental sustainability projects to create a sustainable world for future generation.
Thank you. Marianne, before we speak about your vision and your future, we would like to ask you if you could go back, what's one thing you would do differently in your journey?
If I could go back, I would have started earlier. I was always scared of starting. I was always wondering who will believe in me, how will I get through, how will I grow this company. And I used to work in an international bank as a risk analyst. So I was quite comfortable there with air-conditioned rooms and a parking lot slot. And I was scared about starting, but then I realized that there are people who are suffering because I wasn't doing what I was called to do. That's when I started a bit late. So I wish I started earlier.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Fernando, you're up the hot seat for us. So, what has been the most rewarding part of your journey so far?
Yeah, so I could say it's like pitching on COP16 or pitching on COP29, but it's actually seeing our impact on the field and like seeing our seedlings growing. So every time a client or a partner send us pictures of the seedlings growing, for me that's the biggest reward that I could get. For sure, the recognition is really important, and it keep us going and it keep us like doing what you're doing. But yeah, the impact on the field for sure.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
So we would like to encourage you as the audience to ask one hot seat questions. If you have one question for our entrepreneurs, a quick one about their life as ecopreneurs, please feel free to raise your hand and to ask a question. So I'm passing it to you.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Olumide. I'm from Nigeria. To be sincere, these are kind of people that we want to see in the environment so that we can be able to push out the elderly ones. Not pushing out entirely, but to give them space to actually. But there's a very big question I always like to ask entrepreneurs about government policies, because it's going, you are getting more funding, you are selling, you are doing everything. How does the government policies actually affect your businesses? And how are you actually putting a lot of strategy to make sure, because you're going to pay tax, you're going to do all these things. How are you guys, what are you doing to make sure you win those challenges? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Maybe who wants to answer this question of you? You want? Okay, please go ahead. You have 30 seconds. I know it's a tough one.
Thank you so much for the great question. On our side, for example, we are working with our government to get some approval in order to scale our innovation across West Africa. But the policy was really thought at the beginning of the journey, because there are a lot of paper to provide. But by collaborating with them, we found some way in order to move our job forward. Thank you.
Perfect. So I see another question there.
Yeah, might not be really hot. If you allow me, I would like to congratulate all of them. I'm so pleased because I found this place is a detoxing corner. Because if you go everywhere, climate is changing, like direction is there. So all are scared. When you come here, it's very comfortable. So congratulations, because I had a lot of hopes. There is positive optimism. I think that is extremely nice, because I call it detoxing corner. So I think in terms of the problem you are solving is really impressive. However, how do you really scale it? By you are solving public problems. How is the government supporting you? How is the international governments like GCF or even Land Initiative is helping you to scale it out? Because you have hope, you have the technology, we have the solution. All we are discussing is about the solution, not the problem. So I really wonder how you embed your work into government system, international system, so that it will be part of the other big picture, so that it will solve a lot of problems. We write so many projects, we never include your ideas, millions, billions. I tell you, I advise GCF, Global Environmental Facility. We have $6 billion, but how much is really going to the youth, the civil society service, entrepreneur? I see the solution here, but I don't see money coming here. So I wonder how, I challenge all of you, how you really embed your work into a public process, public funding, and then also international funding, so that your work is not your work only, but it should be for the broader. How do you scale it up? Thank you. Wonderful job.
Thank you so much for your question. Who you would like to answer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you have 30 seconds.
So on our work, we have two parts, and happy to span the conversation. On the first end, in terms of our products, the governments can buy our products, seaweed-based biostimulant instead of the synthetic fertilizer version, to increase crop yield and help farmers. On the invasive seaweed side of things, the governments can also put better policies and proactive plans to stop the seaweed before it makes landfall, creating a supply chain out of it and utilizing as a raw material.
Thank you. I'm Beatrice Ogola from Kenya. I'm a member of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. I saw a picture of an informal settlement where there was waste, dumping of waste, My question to all of us, first I want to thank the G20 Global Land Initiative for this engagement. But what do we think? How are we going to move from that kind of picture, especially from all the informal settlements that we have all over the world, because that is the actual picture that we have in all that kind of settlement, vis-a-vis the populations that are growing and the urbanization. How are we progressively thinking of a reduction of that kind of picture in our urban space?
Thank you very much for that question. That was my pitch, actually. Let me just say that, first of all, as a company, we started off as recyclers. So what we used to do, we still do it actually. We collect the waste from the rivers, then we recycle them into sustainable products like paving blocks, fencing poles, and the likes. But we realized that's not really a sustainable solution, because once you've already cleaned out, tomorrow we go back and then we find somebody has dumped the waste there. That's why now we came up with the biopactic material alternative, which is actually a solution that can break down completely. So that's what we are doing.
What you're doing is so great.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the next time you find people have dumped it there. Is it for lack of where to dump it? Is it for lack of planning that accommodates all that? Or how do we move forward?
I think it's a myriad of different factors, including behavioral change, first of all. And it starts from when people are young. Urban planning is something else that needs to be looked into in terms of the informal settlements in Kenya. And also, it's just lack of options, because in informal settlements, you get that the buildings are very much close to each other. And these people, they don't really have like a lot of kind of policy following, or because the kind of people that you get there, and I know that you know this because you do come from Kenya, most of them are unemployed, most of them are former criminals, and that kind of thing. Yes. So I'd love to have like a more comprehensive discussion with you on that. Yes. After this session.
I'm really sorry. We only have 5 minutes left, but we will be here after the session. So really, I encourage you to come to the entrepreneurs to ask them the question themselves. But we unfortunately have to stick to the timetable here for the next session. So now we want to have in our final segment like a broader picture, a vision, a future of them. So Marianne, we would like to know from you, your work is really data driven and you're credibly forward thinking, right? So how do you see the technology evolving in your field and how will it shape the future of sustainable land management?
Thank you, Johanna, for the question. That's a very amazing question. The AI field is very dynamic, so it requires continuous research and development. But the beauty of what we are doing is that we have collaborated with local universities, Jomo Kenyatta University and ZTech. So these universities are able to incorporate this data from when the young people are in school, and we are also encouraging these young people to take up roles in agriculture. Sometime back, we thought that farming or agriculture is about just getting your hands dirty. But now with data, you can be a farmer, but just seated behind a desk. So it's going to be very beautiful because smart agriculture is the next big thing. The population is growing, everyone needs to eat, and so we need to incorporate more of data and data knowledge sharing.
Thank you so much for your answer. Martina, you have shared so many rewarding moments in the session. So we would like to know from you, what are your long-term goals for your business?
The future looks bright for us. Our long-term goals is to form as many partnerships as we can, and also be able to change the behavior of people. I'm glad that the government is supporting us in terms of policy making, because the polythene bags in Kenya for packaging are actually illegal. They're not legal. But now we still need to find a solution because somehow they still find themselves into the country and we still have a big pollution problem. So the future looks bright because we're looking at behavior change and such kind of things.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Christian, collaboration is often key to growth. I think you made also already nice contacts here at COP16. So what kind of partnerships or networks do you envision forming for your business in the future?
That's a great question. For the future of our business, we hope to collaborate on some strategic and financial aspects. We would like to be a catalyst for agricultural transformation in West Africa, creating an agricultural ecosystem that supports both farmers and our common environment. And then a financial partnership about 100,000 USD could help us reach out to over 1 million farmers, most importantly women across West Africa, being able to restore over 50,000 hectares of farmland by 2030. Thank you so much.
Sounds amazing. Thank you. So Andres, you have told us in your pitch that you incorporated many communities and also have impacted the ecosystems. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit on innovation and approaches you see in this field and you believe will be most transformative in the field of land degradation, land restoration in the next decade.
Even though we're very passionate about land and the innovative products we have been creating, I understand, and that's the work we have been developing, that we cannot turn our backs into the ocean when we speak about land, because also what we do in land affects the oceans and vice versa. The oceans are a critical ecosystem for many different reasons. One, for the raw material they provide to us and to our innovative products, but also for the carbon capture component, and it's a full holistic circularity, right? With that said, we are very looking forward to keep leveraging the power of seaweed to bring those resources into our land, to increase yield, reduce the dependency of synthetic fertilizer, and keep extending the impact that we create.
Thank you so much. Sounds great. Now to your vision, Fernando. How do you plan to ensure the sustainability of your business model while growing and while driving meaningful change?
Thank you so much for the question. We do have the plan of starting training and supporting other organizations to use our technology while we can help and assist them developing the intelligence services behind it. So planning the optimized missions, processing data, images, elaborating reports. So in the sustainability part of it, we do focus on training and supporting. We think that's a smart way to scale up the number of hectares and the number of regions impacted by our technologies. So yeah, I think by really supporting and training other communities, organizations, and governments, we can see scaling up new solutions, and not only ours, but I think that could be the real answer for other businesses as well.
Thank you so much to all of you for this inspiring and engaging session. For me, and I'm sure also for the audience, it was a privilege hearing your stories and insights and your visions of you. Today, I think you have shown us that businesses in land degradation is not only about restoring ecosystems and reversing degradation, but also about thriving and innovating enterprises that balance profitability with profound impact on our ecosystems and communities. And I think what really stands out here is the immense potential of young people who are leading this movement. So you're not only solving an environmental challenge, you're building a new narrative. And I think this is really amazing. So the creativity and determination you have shared today is exactly what we need to tackle global challenges like land degradation. So to the audience, I would encourage you to take away one key message. Land restoration businesses are incredible opportunities, not only to make an impact, but to generate sustainable growth. Supporting young entrepreneurs like the ones we've heard today is an investment in a future that is greener, fairer, and more resilient. So for anyone who is really inspired now for the session today, we have open soon the new cohort for the Year Youth Ecopreneur program. This is the program where all of these entrepreneurs been through. So please scan the QR code in the back, learn more about the program, and also be interested in the next call for applications. Let's stay connected and hear each other from today. Thank you to all our panelists, to you, Lorenza, as a moderator, to G20 and the ITC, and of course to you, the audience, for being part of this really impactful conversation. I think there's nothing more to say than together, let's keep restoring the future. Thank you.